Coach Grandin, I appreciate you for having me on again. Am I good? Am I coming through? Am I coming through?
You're good, Coach.
Okay. All right, cool. I didn't see myself pop up, so I want to make sure I wasn't talking to myself.
Yeah, you're good.
No, yeah. Thanks for having me on again. Obviously, we're still living in these crazy times, and usually this time of year, I'm kind of out traveling and doing Glacier talks and things like that. So love talking about football, love learning about football. So appreciate you creating this platform for coaches to get together and share knowledge, and hopefully I can bring something today that helps you guys a little bit. I know Coach mentioned it. Make sure if you're on Twitter, follow me at Coach Mohns. Last name is Mohns. And then if you like what you hear today, you want to see some more of the stuff I've done. I've got, I think, over 20 courses on CoachTube, CoachTube.com, users/Coach Mohns. So if you want to check that out, great. If not, all good. I'm definitely not a salesman, but I've had a lot of fun putting courses up there and had a lot of really good feedback since I've been doing that. So let me. My computer just died on me here. Sorry, I lost my video there for a second, guys.
Oh, you're good, Coach.
My damn camera on my laptop died, so I had to get a little USB plug in, and it is not the reliable way we want to go. All right, here we go. So anyway, let's dive right into this, and I'm going to talk a little bit today about what we call our double screens. We call it duo, actually, which is funny because every clinic going on right now is about duo run scheme, but we call it duo because it's our double screen. And then talk about a little bit about how we package our jailbreak screen with some of our wide receiver quick screens and with some of our quick game. So we'll jump into it, hopefully show you some clips, and then have some time at the end to answer some questions if there are any questions about it. So I know Coach mentioned a little bit, just briefly about Saguaro High School. We've had a good amount of success. This is just finished my 9th year as head coach. We are a 4A school by enrollment. We've got about 1,400 kids in our school. It's a public high school. We had a run of 7 consecutive years playing for a state championship. Had won 6 in a row. Last year in 2019, we played in the first ever Arizona Open Division playoffs, which was the top 8 teams, regardless of your classification. So they took teams from 4A, 5A, and 6A. They took the top 8 teams into a separate playoff bracket. We lost by a touchdown in 2019. We qualified as the 3rd seed again for the Open Division playoffs this year. And like I was telling Coach Grandinetti before, I think he started letting you guys all on. We found out Thanksgiving Day, the day before our first round playoff game, that we had to go into quarantine because of COVID. So it was our first year in 8 years that we hadn't played for a state championship. It was brutal. We had 4 of our 8 games on our regular season schedule canceled because our opponents went into quarantine. Only ended up playing a 6-game regular season. Played 1 game this year on 24 hours notice. We had our game canceled early in the week, and we were trying to find another opponent. Couldn't find one. Thursday at 3:30, we had another really good team lost their opponent. We agreed to play the next day on Friday at 7. So it was quite the year. It was one of the most difficult years I've had as a head coach. Even though we played less than half of the games we usually play in a regular season, it was a lot. But definitely respect all the head coaches and coordinators, everybody out there that persevered through this, and obviously was really impressed with our kids, and I think kids across the country for the way they've handled all the adversity and kept moving forward. So let's kind of move into this a little bit. So the first thing I want to talk about, this is what we call our duo screen. We call this our double screen. And I'm trying to walk through and I'll explain the rules to you. I know there's some guys on there that have seen my run action screen course on CoachTube. We try to use the same landmarks and a lot of the same rules that we use in our run action screens when we get into our jailbreak type screen. So reason we call this our duo or our double screen is because we're packaging 2 screens into this. So it always starts with a jailbreak screen. So over here on the right side, we're going to run our what we call HRAM, which is like a jailbreak screen to the right. So we're going to take the right side from the center over, and we're going to kind of talk about the rules. Okay, so when we run our jailbreak screen, we could tag that to any one of these players. We could run it to our Z, we could run it to our H, we could run it to our Y. In this case, the call is H duo, which really tells these guys on the play side that they're running HRAM, which is jailbreak. The duo indicates that we're going to have a backside screen as well. Okay, so whoever we tag that's who's going to run the jailbreak. So starting with the player running the jailbreak screen, we always tell him to push vertical 3 steps. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3. That third step is going to start him motoring down. And then the thing that's really important is that he retraces his steps back down the line to the line of scrimmage. And then we want to come slow and controlled down the line of scrimmage and allow the quarterback to throw you upfield. Okay. So in this case, in this diagram, we're throwing it to the number 2. The number 1 receiver is going to be responsible for blocking the man over 1 or the man over himself. So he's going to go get his hat inside. He's going to work what we call a keep block. He's going to try to keep him outside. Okay. Now, what we typically do is the next guy inside, whether it's a wide receiver or the tackle, the next player inside is going to block the man over 2. If they're apexed, so right here, this linebacker is apexing 2 and 3. If they're apexed, then the number 3 is going to push kick the apex defender. Or if this safety was rolled down, all right, so if this safety was down over 2 and the linebacker was over 3, all right, then he would push kick the man over 2. So that's his rules. All right, the Y right here is going to push kick the man over 2. In this case, it's the apex player. Okay, so push kick. The reason why that's important, instead of just taking a path right now to kick him, we want to push vertical and then kick. We want to make sure if I do have a linebacker that's inside leverage, that he doesn't trigger and drive my inside hip right away, because that's going to make the block difficult for the tackle if I do that. So we want to try to, with our eyes on the apex defender or the man over 2, we want to push vertical, usually 2 or 3 steps, and then kick. If that guy happens to be pressed, we still want to take 1 step vertical, all right, stick your foot, and then go flat and kick that guy. The coaching point, anytime we're kicking this, and we call this kind of like our sidewalk block, we're trying to create this alley. Anytime we're getting there, we want to put our hat upfield. So we want him to fit his helmet upfield inside. This guy can run around me all day this way. I can't let him beat me back over the top, okay? So push, kick the man over 2. All right, so the tackle now. He's always going to count. Anytime we're running this screen, and this is, again, if you've seen my run action screens, it's the similar rules, okay? He's going to count how many players are outside of him to the play side. So in this case, 1, 2, 3. So that tells him he's going to be responsible for kicking man over 3. Anytime we're running jailbreak screen, we're setting this screen up off of our pass game. So these guys are going to take their normal 6-man half slide rules that we would do. All right, so we're a half slide team. So they're going to take their normal set, like if we're in our half slide, okay, show high hat, show hands. We want to influence this guy upfield, and then we're going to kind of give him a little, punch and throw by, and then he's going to go and he's going to block man over 3. Now, again, if man over 3 was down here at the second level, then he's going to come out. He's going to try to go flat and get his hat inside and kick. When we get this apex look, so you get a 4-2-5 nickel with split safety look. All right, when we get this apex look, he knows that man over 3 is going to come late from the alley. So he's going to end up working to that safety when that safety fits to trigger that run, okay, or trigger that screen. So he's going to end up being on that safety as that safety fits down in the box. And again, if they were in 1 high, if they were in a post safety look and they were rolled down and he was in, then we would go high hat, show my hands, all right, rip through, and then we would go flat, hat inside, and kick the man over the 3. Okay, so wherever he ends up, that's where we're going to be. The play side guard, so on the side of the jailbreak to the H, he's going to take his pass set, show high hat, all right, get our hands on this guy. We want to kind of give him a pull through. We want to pull him through, make sure that he can't retrace his steps. We're going to come flat for 5, and he's got the play side log of the play side linebacker. So he wants to get leverage on the linebacker. So we're going to stay flat until we gain leverage. We're going to turn the corner, and we want to log this play side linebacker inside. Okay. And that's really important. What you'll see a lot of times is these kids, they'll kind of get horny to get to the second level. So they'll set and they'll see that linebacker and they'll try to climb too fast and they'll let this guy beat them over the top. So we always tell them, stay flat. All right. The goal is to be flat for 5 until we have leverage, and then we're going to turn it up. All right. We need to make sure that we have leverage before we turn it up. Okay. So far the landmarks. All right. We have sidewalk. We always call it our sidewalk when we're kicking. Guard has the log, okay? And now our center is going to run the alley. So he's going to show high hat. He's going to pass set, all right? He's going to work to whatever side his slide would have him. In this case, he would be sliding strong to the mic, all right? So he's going to set like he's setting with the guard. He's going to come flat. As soon as the play side guard turns to log, the center is going to turn off of his ass really tight. We always want to scan inside. So if we have another threat coming from the inside that gets there, quick, we'll take second level. If not, we're going to run the alley, always scanning inside, out. Okay. So he's going to run the alley. So the three landmarks that we get from here are sidewalk from the tackle. We have log from the guard. We have alley from the center. Okay. So that's our front side jailbreak. Backside, we're going to run our little flare screen to the running back. Okay. This for us is a 3x1 screen like 99% of the time. We can run it 2x2, but I like it better 3x1. And I like throwing that flare screen into the boundary. Okay. That's just the way we like to do it the most. It's the way we've been the most successful. Okay. So the rule we put on this, our play side number one, our X receiver is going to push crack the number one linebacker in the box. Okay. So if we had a 1 and then we had a 2, we had an overhang linebacker out here, we're not going to block the 2. We're always going to push crack the number 1. Okay. The first linebacker inside the box. Okay. Our tackle out here is going to be similar to what our tackle over here. He's going to run the sidewalk. So he's going to show high hat. He's going to pass set. All right. He's going to kind of push, pull that end through. He's going to go flat and he's going to go kick the man over number 1. So when he looks out here, he sees one receiver. He knows he's responsible for kicking the man over 1. Again, when this guy tries to trigger, if he does trigger, then we're going to put our hat inside, make sure this guy can't beat me back over the top. Now, what happens a lot in this is a lot of times you'll get man into the boundary, okay? So if this corner drives that push crack, we're going to come flat. If we see him go inside, now we're going to turn and we're going to log that corner, okay? So we want to turn and log that corner if he chases the X. The backside guard, he's going to pass set, okay? He's going to come flat for 5, and now he's the alley player. So we've essentially created the same landmarks. Over here, we have sidewalk, alley, and log. Now we're getting that log by cracking the linebacker. We're getting the sidewalk from the tackle. We're getting the alley from the guard, okay? Now the quarterback, really simple here on his read. He's just reading the end man on the line of scrimmage, all right, to see if he peels. So when we get this 4-2-5 look like this, all right, quarterback's going to take a quick 3-step drop. He's reading the running back swing right away, okay? Now, running back rules, we always teach them this. This is on any of our like 5-man quick passing game or anytime we're releasing the back out. If the ball's in the middle of the field, we tell the running back on the snap of the ball to take 4 steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, full speed before his eyes come around, and then he can kind of start throttling. If the ball's into the boundary, he's going to take 3 steps, 1, 2, 3, and then he's going to kind of get his eyes around and settle. We don't want to turn it upfield. We just want to settle out there somewhere around the bottom of the numbers. Okay, we got to make sure. Now, if the ball was on the boundary and we were running to the field, he would take 5 hard steps before he turns around to look for the ball. Okay, and those are just the rules we give him to make sure that he gets cleared. A lot of times this kid will start running and he'll look back right away and he'll slow down and he won't get the width that we want on this play. You want to try to get him out here to the bottom of the numbers. Okay, so quarterback's reading the end man on line of scrimmage. If this guy peels with the flare, we're going to come back and throw the jailbreak screen to the right, okay? If he keeps coming and rushes the passer, we're going to dump this over the top, and we're going to throw the little flare screen out here, all right? And again, the running back should be following his guard to the alley. And Coach,
was
there a question?
Yep, got 2 questions here. The first one is, why do you have the guard log the linebacker instead of the center? Is it because of a better angle?
To the play side, yeah, he should be getting out first. So that's why we do that. We have our guard log because he should be getting there first based on the way we're setting.
And then the second question was, does anything change versus an odd front? So like quarterback read or landmarks?
Yeah, great question. So against an odd front, really we want to read that boundary overhang. That's really the guy that we're looking at. So if this boundary overhang comes and he doesn't peel, we'll throw the flare. All right. Chances are if this guy either peels with it or he just drops and to play curl flat, all right, then we should be back over here working the tunnel screen. Good?
Good to go, Coach.
Okay. So let's watch a couple of clips of this. And we've really only been running this the last couple seasons. So you can see, so for the coach, here's kind of a 4-4 look. Again, we want to block the play side inside backer. So, actually this is, they're bringing up an overhang. They're walking out their inside backer right here. So really we should be push kicking or push cracking right here. We're going to read this guy. Okay. So this guy's playing in space. We're going to come back and work. And you can see pre-snap, we have numbers out here. So this is pretty easy for the quarterback to decipher. they've got an extra overhang to the boundary. And I will tell you, we do a lot of boundary flood concepts with our cross and some of the other primary concepts that we run. So we end up getting a lot of boundary overhang because we do a lot to the 3x1, working back to the boundary concepts with our back working weak. So teams feel inclined to have to play this guy in space, which has really opened up a lot of our concepts to the field, to the trip side. Okay, so you can see we're going to start on the running back. Now you can motion him or you can have him go on the snap. It doesn't matter. Sometimes I like to motion to just make the read a little bit quicker for the quarterback. So we're going to motion this guy. You can see him hanging in space. We should be working to crack right here. Okay, we're reading this guy. So right now, quarterback should be off. We're going to throw the tunnel. Now, when you come over here to our jailbreak screen, all right, we should be getting block on man over one from the number one. We're throwing this to our H, to our number two. This should be push kick. He doesn't do a good job of pushing, all right, but he does a good enough job. Tackle now should be on the alley player, so whoever's going to try to fit late, okay? So you'll see 1, 2, 3, retrace, okay? Push kick. Tackle should come out to whoever's working the alley, all right? Here's our guard that's working around here. So tackle should be on man over 3. Guard should be on the log. Center should be working the alley. Now, we lost our center to friendly fire, I think, right here, but you can see him coming out. And again, I will tell you this. A lot of times when you run these screens, you have it drawn up perfectly, and then the defense comes out in something funky, and you don't get what you want. But I think at the end of the day, if you can put the ball in an athlete's hands in space, and you can put some big bodies, put some hats out in front of him, usually good things will happen. And that's kind of what happens here. It didn't happen exactly the way we wanted it to, but we got it to an athlete in space and put some hats out in front of him. Here you can see the end zone shot. So duo screen, so it's double screen. So this side over, okay? He's got sidewalk, all right? He's got alley. We're going to get that crack or that log block coming from the outside, all right? Front side, tackle is going to set. He's going to set the sidewalk. Guard is going to log. Play side backer. Center should be working the alley. Okay, we want to show hi-hat. We want to make sure we get him come upfield. You can see the throw by. Watch our center right here. This is kind of that throw by that we want. All right, get him out. Get those guys coming upfield. You can see my left tackle set. It's going to give him this big club. If you watch right here, he's going to give him this big club to try to get his momentum coming through and get him going. Okay, same concept right here. We're throwing the jailbreak screen to our H. We're throwing the flare screen into the boundary. We should be push crack right here. Tackle should be on man over 1. All right. Guard should be running the alley. And so right now, as long as this end doesn't peel, we're reading the end. If he doesn't peel, we should feel pretty good. But when we get this crash blitz right here, so you can see these guys run a crash blitz. As soon as we get that crash blitz, we treat this like an extra overhang backer. They're rolling over the top. Okay. So that crash blitz will take us off of throwing the flare. Now, as soon as he sees that crash blitz, we're not throwing the flare. We're going to come back and throw the jail. Okay, and tackle gets a little confused. When that corner crashes, all right, he should continue on and go work this safety that's playing over the top. So when they run that kind of cloud look or that crash cover 3 look, we want to continue on to there. Okay, come back. Now, front side, again, we're throwing this to our H. So our Z has man over 1. We want to run the keep block, try to keep him outside. Push vertical 1, 2, 3. Retrace, slow and control down the line. We're going to push, kick the man over 2. Tackle set. We're going to end up setting the sidewalk on this safety that should be triggering right here. All right, guard, set, flat, log, center, set, flat, alley. Okay, and this is, you can see, if we come upfield too soon, we can get beat over the top. So we want to make sure that we stay and keep our width so we don't get beat. So watch 55, our left guard here. He doesn't come out and stay flat and gain leverage. He comes upfield too soon. He ends up getting beat over the top, and that kid has a chance to make a play. Okay, same look here. This is a 3-3 stack team. Again, it's that weak overhang. If we can get that weak overhang to peel, now we get them the weak stack and the safety run with this. And that's why I like running that motion, because sometimes we talk about window dressing and eye candy. This is eye candy right here. You get a bunch of guys moving, especially if you work some weak flood passing game coming back over here. All right, you can get a lot of reaction into the boundary. Okay, so same thing. He's going to work play side inside backer. Okay, we should be reading the weak safety roll down. We should be reading weak safety roll down. All right. Tackle should be man over one. He kind of gets hung up, but there's so much flow going that way that we should be coming off of it quick. All right. No, we haven't thrown one of these yet, but I'll show you one where we throw. Okay. Now over here, if this guy's inside leverage of the two, all right, or apex, we're going to push, kick, man over two, keep block right here from our Z. Run the jail screen right here. All right. He's going to take man over three, which could be a safety coming down. Guard is going to log. Let me do that. Guard's going to set and log the play side backer. Center's going to set and run our alley. So you guys can kind of see that come through. Center got hung up, but we're okay. We still end up with a hat for a hat. And our Z does a shitty job because he lets the corner back over the top. You got to really fight to stay engaged and not let your guy beat you over the top. He ends up watching his guy, and his guy should have made the play there. Okay, same look. Our X right here gets hung up. He shouldn't be blocking the corner. He should be coming off. And you know, that's the one thing you got to really train the rules. We rotated some kids in this game. So he stalks the corner, which screws us up. But he should be push, kick, man, the first man inside. We should be reading right here. Tackle should be on the man over one. Onto the flare screen here. Okay. Now, the quarterback's read is this guy. So this guy's walked up. You see on the snap, he bails, and he's just playing curl flat. So we're coming off, and we're looking to throw the tunnel right now to the field. Okay, so it's a really good field jailbreak screen. You can dress it up. All right, here you go. Number 3 is going to push, kick the man over 2. Tackle should be set, and he should be on the man over 3, which is this backer that's locked out. All right, guard is going to log, play side backer. All right, and center should end up on the alley right here. See it from the end zone. If you're sitting there at home going, shit, I'd really like to have that left tackle. So would I. He just graduated. He actually early enrolled at Oregon. And about an hour before I showed up for this clinic, I got a text from Oregon's O-line coach telling me how great he was doing. So, yeah, if you're looking at that kid going, I wish I had that kid, we could run this play too. He's pretty good.
Got a question here, Coach.
Yes, sir.
I was asked if the kind of along the lines of where you were just talking about, but does the athleticism of your O-line change how many times a year you would run this?
Yeah, I mean, if your guys are big, stiff, boards out in space, then it changes things a little bit. I mean, hopefully you can find tackles that are somewhat athletic. The tackles are really the ones that have the most difficult block. Because they're out in space, and they got to be able to move their feet a little bit. The guard's log on the backer is easy. It's just more about leverage. And the center really, he runs the alley. Really, a lot of times he's just the guy running the screen is going to just use him to kind of set up blocks. I mean, very rarely does he get out on the safety and like break his feet down and demolish a guy. But it's just an extra hat to put out in front of your athlete in the alley. So I don't think you have to be super dynamically athletic to do this. But I mean, I think if you want to be a good team in all, facets of the game, you want to have a little bit of athleticism at tackle. And that definitely helps on this play.
Good, Coach.
Okay. Same thing right here. All right. So they're 4-3, you can see that they're kind of peeling and playing wide into the boundary on this one. Let me come back to that. Sorry. Okay, I think in this one, I would probably say right here, I would say on this right here, we're reading the end. We're going to crack the first backer inside the box. We should have thrown this flare screen right here. So you guys can see what that looks like. So if we would have thrown this right here, this guy's coming up field. All right, we're cracking here. This guy's pulling for the corner, and this guy's pulling for the alley, and he can scan inside out. I think we would have had a nice, easy boundary throw if we would have taken it. But, we have so much success throwing this to the field. I think sometimes kids come off of that too quick. So would have liked to see us throw that one. But you can kind of see right here, like we don't kick the shit out of anybody at the second or third level. But if you can get some hats out in front of guys, you know, you give yourself a chance. Like this isn't a great block, but it does just enough to slow that guy down. Here you go. I think we actually throw a flare screen here. Crack first man inside, tackles pulling for the man over one. It's not a very good throw by the quarterback, so a little bit better of a throw, and I think we can get it going a little bit faster. But you can see nice little boundary play. This was 4th and 8, and we pick up the first down here. So I like throwing screens on third and long. Third and long for us is like 7 to 10. So I like throwing screens and those down in distance, especially down here in the red zone where this is 2-play territory for us. So we can dump this off. If we get 6 yards, 5 or 6 yards out of this, then we'll go for it on 4th down. Do you have a question, Coach?
Yes, sir. It was asked, do you mainly throw the jail to number 2?
Yeah, to the field, I do. But it just depends. I mean, that's for us in our offense. This is our H, and he's our most dynamic, kind of like little jitterbug. He'll be a hybrid slot receiver / running back. So that's the guy I want to get the ball in his hands, because if you can see, this is the 2 different years, but all these guys are similar build. There's these little quick, dynamic, kind of lightning bug dudes, and so yeah. Typically in this play, I'm calling that to our H. But if you've got like a really good tight end, you can throw this to your Y, and you can get it to your Y. So if you got a really good big body guy and he's got a little bit of juice and you want to get it to him, you can. I don't love it to the number 1 to the field. I like throwing, and I'll get into it how we throw the screen for the number 1 into the boundary. I don't like throwing it to the 1 to the field. There's just too much grass, and it's too slow developing to try to make that happen. You're asking your tackle to really get out there a long way, and that tunnel has to come a long way back inside. You have another question, Coach?
Yeah, and one more question here, Coach. Do you keep your wide receiver splits a little tighter when you know you're throwing a screen, or you typically align with all 3 wide receivers to the field inside the numbers?
Yeah, our base rules when the ball's on the boundary is our number 1 should typically split the difference from the top of the numbers and the hash. Okay, we want our Y from like 5 to 7 yards from the tackle. He should tighten down to closer to 5 yards on the screen, because that cuts down the distance that the tackle has to work. And then our H should split the difference between the 1 and the 3. So that's kind of base rules. So yeah, you don't want to have big wide splits, because you know the wider you are, the more grass that you're asking your tackle to have to play in. Okay, that if you can cut it down a little bit, now you could still plus your number 1 outside. That's fine. You want these guys condensed a little bit, because that's going to make this a little bit tighter of a space for him to have to work in. Okay. Any other questions before we move on to the next screen that we're going to talk about? Any other questions on that duo screen?
Yeah, if anybody has any questions, drop it in. We're good right now, Coach.
Okay, cool. I'll keep working. Let me know if I get tight on time or anything like that.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay. So the next screen, these are our package screens, and it's essentially the same thing, all right, that we just talked about to the front side. So this call right here is X-Ram odd. So we're running our jailbreak screen. So we call it X-Ram. He's going to push vertical 1, 2, 3. All right. 3rd step starts his breakdown, retrace his steps, slow and control down the line of scrimmage, let the quarterback throw you up. Okay. When it's 2x2 like this, all right, when it's 2x2 like this, and we're throwing the ball to our number 1, now our number 2 is going to go push, kick the man over 1, get your hat inside, don't let him beat you back over the top. Tackle still has that sidewalk, so he's responsible for kicking man over 2. In this case, there's that apex linebacker, so he's going to hi-hat pass set, he's going to come out flat, and he's going to kick or set the sidewalk on the man over 2. Same rule we talked about, play side guard, hi-hat, flat, he's going to log the play side backer. Center is going to hi-hat. He's going to come out as soon as the guard turns the log. He's going to turn the corner and run the alley, always scanning inside out. Okay. Now, the only difference on this one, when it's not a double screen, this is just our jailbreak screen. Our guard away from the call, in this case, our right guard, is going to be our rat kill. So those of you guys that have seen my run action screens off of power and off of outside zone, this is the exact same rules as our outside zone solid screen. All right. The exact same landmarks. The only thing that's different is instead of showing outside zone steps and then running our landmarks, now we're showing pass set and running our landmarks. So the very last one is the backside guard is going to set, and then he's going to work, and he's going to just run that circle block we call it a rat kill. So the first down lineman that sniffs out screen and tries to plant his foot and retrace, we want to go pick that guy off. Okay. Now in the good old days of when I first started running this stuff, you could ear hole the shit out of that guy, all right, and put it on your highlight tape. Now, when this guy turns and kind of blindly turns back inside and you're waiting for him, you got to make sure that you initiate contact with your hands first, because you could kill a really good play by having your guard who just wants to rip that guy's face off, all right, because he's got a blindside block. So he's got to make sure you teach those guys to initiate contact with their hands. They really don't need to crush the guy. All they really have to do is just kind of like screen him off, just cut him off and slow him down. Okay. So everything that we're doing here, front side, play side, is just our jailbreak screen. All right. For everybody. Our backside tackle is just locked. He's locked in pass pro. All right. So he wants to influence this guy upfield, and we kind of want to just run him by. Okay. Just like you would do on a running back slow screen. Okay. So we just want to pass set. We want to influence him upfield. We want to get in his inside hip pocket and just run him by. Okay. Now, the second part of this, you can tag whatever you want. Okay, so this is just tagging screen or quick to the backside of our jailbreak screen. So in this case, we call it our key four. Key four means it's a bubble screen to the running back. Anytime we call key four, that means it's a bubble screen to the running back. So you can add pre-snap motion, what we call rock and roll, or you can flare on the snap, much like the duo concept. Okay, ball's in the middle of the field, so he should be taking 4 steps. And now we're just going to perimeter block bubble screen for the running back. What we teach our quarterback on this is we identify the mic and we read the mic. So if the mic pushes hard, and we always read the running back screen first, if the mic pushes hard to the bubble screen, to the back, we'll come back and throw the jailbreak. All right. If the mic hangs here, then we're going to throw the jail right now. We should be able to occupy this end because we're keeping our tackle end. So we don't have to necessarily worry about the peel. All right. If the mic stays in the middle and the end peels and it's not there, then we'll just throw this shit into the ground and live to see another day. Okay. And then if that guy's doing that, then we might come back and call our duo screen if we know that guy's going to peel like that. Okay. So this will show you a look at it right here. So go back to the top. So right here, I'm running jailbreak screen to our number 1. This is really good 2x2 middle of the field. 1, 2, 3, retrace, slow and controlled. The number 2 is going to push, kick the man over 1, tackle, pass set. He's going to set the sidewalk on the man over 2, guard, pass set. He's going to log the play side backer, center pass set. He's going to go flat and run the alley. So that's front side. And then backside down here, we're just running bubble screen. So we teach these guys, we're going to come off 1 yard, jab, and identify the most dangerous man. So whoever's the most dangerous man to the bubble, he's going to come off 1 yard, jab, and identify most dangerous man. So we always want to make sure that we're working to block the most dangerous guy. Okay. Quarterback's looking at it. You can see Mike is flying out. Okay. So who we identified as our Mike is flying out. So we feel pretty good on our numbers right here. They're not going to be able to add to us. So he's going to come off of it and throw the jailbreak. Okay. And I know on these clips that it looks like we're throwing the jailbreak all the time. And that's what happens. All right. We've got it built in to go the other way. But because we use that rock and roll, that fast motion on the back from the running back, I feel like we get good flow. Again, teams respect our boundary. We run a lot of stick and snag concept to the running back side. So I feel like teams have to really commit to pushing linebackers. And so because we do so much of that, I think it sets up these screens coming back the other way. So you can see them push this linebacker hard this way. Okay. See our quarterback, that's where his eyes are to start. Come off of it, set it, and throw it. Okay. And then you might ask, well, why do you have him go across the quarterback sometimes? Why do you have him do it front side sometimes? A lot of it just depends on scouting reports. And a lot of times we'll just change it up. We'll just mess with it. So you can't really get a tell on what we're doing. We like to pop our back. We'll motion our back and pop him and do different things with him. So we just want to kind of not have tendencies on how we're doing this. Okay. So again, we should be looking at the mic. Now the mic on this one kind of just opens up like they're playing Tampa for some reason down here in the red zone. But mic opens up. All right. So we feel like he's at least flowing this way. This guy's triggering. So we're going to come back and throw the tunnel. Okay. Not a great ball. We got to be a little bit more sudden. You have to work these arm angles from your quarterback. He's got to be able to change his arm angle. He's got to be able to find windows to throw this pass. And so We do 10 minutes worth of screen drills every day. And we'll do it where we're not throwing it with the first level. We'll put bags or scout defenders at the second and third level, and then we'll have a coach come be this guy and hold up dummies and try to create different windows and different passing lanes for our quarterback to work. So it should be stepping right here, pump, and then retreat, find the tunnel, put it on. We got to get on. If we get it on him right here, we should probably score this. Okay. This is key 4 right here. So, you can do it 3x1. This is just like our duo, but now in this case, we're locking the tackle on the end man. He's still running the key 4. It's a bubble screen down here. He's going to come off and block most dangerous to that. And I don't know about you guys. We should have thrown that. Okay. We don't really get anything that makes us not want to throw it to that running back. Dump it over the top. We got a hat on a hat. Safeties are playing real deep. All right. And it's 4th and 7, but I'm good with this. We dump this off. We're going to get the first down here if we dump this off. And we got a little screwy on our rules here. This is where, if they start playing this mini coverage and they lock the 1 and then they play cover 2 off the 2 and 3, that's fine. Go push kick the man over 2. All right. The tackle's going to take whoever fits off of that. So he would fit off the safety. The alley player is going to scan anything coming inside, out. So he could, potentially work to that backside safety. But even when you don't block it right, good things happen. When you put hats out in front of a good athlete, those guys can usually make some plays if you put some guys out in front of them. Okay, front side. Now we're throwing single receiver, X-ram right here. We're running the key 4 to the back to the field to the 3 receiver side. Now, when we run this tunnel screen or this jailbreak screen to the number 1, the tackle rule, he counts outside. He's only got 1 receiver, so that tells him he's got man over 1. So he's going to set, he's going to go work, and kick man over 1. Okay, right tackle's locked right here, and these guys are coming off. Z, I don't love him chasing the corner right here. Typically, we like to jab. That's okay. He's chasing. These guys are going to jab and block most dangerous. Jab and block most dangerous. Scan your eyes. And right here, we have numbers on the perimeter. And we always teach our quarterback, right, when we're throwing these key screens, if you have numbers, grass, or leverage, throw it. All right. There's not much else to think about right here. We have numbers and we have grass. Green grass just means there's not a whole lot of defenders in that area. All right. We have a lot of green grass, and we have numbers and we have leverage on their defenders. Okay, front side. Now we're throwing the tunnel backside. We don't do a good job of tunneling right here, coming back inside. Okay, this is what happens. This is a bad throw, and our quarterback, he got spooked on these, and so he wanted to throw these kind of like lollipops. We want them to blitz into this, so they blitz into this. We should feel really good about it. But he gets a little spooked, and he kind of hangs us up here. And this kid has to stop, and we kind of get hung up instead of being able to go and set the sidewalk on a man over 1. Gets hung up, but he makes one guy miss, and then you kind of got the convoy out in front of him. So you can see right here, fast motion to the field. All right, we're trying to affect. Can we get this Mike to move? Can we get him to push out? He starts pushing out a little bit. I don't even know if he pushes out enough. I'd probably still throw the bubble screen. I love this out here. This is way too easy. And actually, I know it's been going around Twitter. I'm sure some of you guys have watched like the Sark clinic from the Nike Coach of the Year deal last year. And he's talking about the most underutilized and undercovered receiver in your offense is your running back. And I agree with that 100%. We can go through all of our concepts, and this guy is open and has tons of grass a lot. And if you got a guy back there that can catch the ball a little bit, you can really kill defenses and make them have to rethink how they want to defend you. Okay. Same look right here. Now we're in an empty diamonds, kind of quad diamonds formation right here. It's the same exact concept. We're running jailbreak screen to our single receiver. We're running key 4. We're running bubble screen right now to that point man of the diamond. Okay. Start out here, numbers, grass, or leverage. If we like the numbers, grass, or leverage, we'll throw that. If we don't, we can come back and throw the tunnel. Okay. So he just takes that right now, first down call, and go get a chunk. Okay. Get 6 or 7 yards on first down. You can see the landmarks down here. So he should be on man over 1. And I think the quarterback might have got spooked a little bit by this. He should have started on the overhang right here. If he didn't love the numbers, grass, or leverage, this throw right here is pre-snap. If he likes this pre-snap, he's going to take it. Okay. They end up blitzing the will, which is what we want. They blitz this boundary guy. That's fine. So tackle should be out. He should be out on man over 1. Guard, don't get caught on this guy too long. He should be logged. Center should be running the alley. Okay. Quads look again. So we have the tunnel screen to the single receiver. We've got the bubble screen or the key four to the point man right here. Just looking numbers, grass, or letters. We start getting guys peeling and guys pushing to the quads look. Now we're going to retreat and throw the tunnel screen again. Not a great throw. Not a great block by the tackle. That's okay. Just don't let that guy beat you over the top. If he wants to beat you, make him try to run around you. That's fine. Push him by. We'll get it going. Real easy, numbers, grass, or leverage. Yep. All the above. We have numbers, grass, and leverage. I don't like the inside receiver right here. Should be jabbing at 1 yard, and he should be looking most dangerous. When this guy comes flying out, he becomes the most dangerous. We should block him. Okay. This guy that's 12 yards off the ball is not more dangerous than this guy that's triggering right now. Okay. So we have to really emphasize jab at 1 yard, work your eyes, scan inside out, and identify most dangerous. But I like this throw by our quarterback. We'll take that all day long. All right. Pre-snap, if you have numbers, grass, or leverage, catch it, throw it right now. And we work this all the time. We'd like to get this out quicker, right? It should take him 2 steps. Catch the ball, set your foot, and then get it out. He takes this kind of like little, kind of like gather, and then he goes 1, 2. This should take 2 steps to get this ball out. 1, 2, get it out, put it on the upfield number. And then we teach our kids when we catch a key screen, anytime we catch one of these fast screens, all right, we want to catch it. We want to get the ball to our outside arm. We want to aim upfield, outside, 4 yards from the line of scrimmage to the sideline, and we tell them to use your weapon. That's get your inside arm ready, all right, to stiff arm. So catch it, aim upfield 4 yards to the sideline right now. Now, if somebody crosses your face, now you can cut it back inside and go. But we always want to give that guy a plan. So anytime we throw these fast screens, whether we're throwing a bubble, we're throwing a fast screen to the 1, or a bubble to the 2, or a now screen to the 2, we always tell them, catch it, get the ball to your outside arm, aim 4 yards upfield to the sideline, use your weapon. All right. And that way they have an instinct as soon as they catch that ball. Because a lot of times what you'll see is kids will catch that thing and then they'll dance around and they don't know what to do with it. And they end up not getting what they could get out of it because they don't attack it quick enough. Okay. And now I didn't put a play card together for this one, but this is the next kind of way to package your screen, which is any way that you can put a Mike read on it. So in this case, we're going to run 3-man stick here. We're going to run jailbreak or tunnel screen to the boundary. So the X is running tunnel, H is going to push kick, and then over here we're running 3-man snag. We're going to read the Mike. Okay. So if the Mike doesn't push and defend the stick route, all right, if he doesn't defend the stick route, then we're going to throw the stick. Okay. Bang, put it on him right now and get vertical. Okay. So all we've done now is we called X ram even. So this is our even is right for us. So we called X ram to the right. We called stick to the left. All right. Mandatory outside release. He's going to go sit on the inside hip of the curl flat defender. He's working the arrow right now. And we're really just working the stick route. If the Mike doesn't push, then we're going to throw stick to arrow off the curl flat defender. So when he widens to defend the arrow, now we have a window to throw the stick. You can see it happen again right here. Okay, easy catch and throw. Good play call. First and 10, second and long. You know, it's a good guarantee you got some built-in stuff. Now, here's the exact same call. And again, we should have thrown this off the mic. I think the mic comes here. We should be banging the stick right now. But he comes off the stick and tries to force the tunnel, and we're kind of dead to rights right here. So it's really important that we're disciplined. This is where we teach the tackle to stay flat when that guy triggers. This was our game. We played the second game of the year. We played on ESPN against the team that we played for in the semifinals last year, Hamilton, who was a national top 25 team most of the year. And we ended up losing by 6 points. We were horrific on offense. So if you watched it to see all the great things I did on offense, I apologize to you. It was brutal. We were starting 3 players on the offensive line that were brand new starters, and 2 of them that after the midway point of the season didn't play for us anymore. Brand new starting quarterback, and we had lost our number 1, our top player, kid committed to Ohio State the week before. So we were reeling a little bit. We didn't feel like we had a whole lot of weapons, and we couldn't run the ball. We couldn't pass pro, and it was a long night of calling plays. We tried to get creative, and we ran a couple trick plays and did some things to we actually outgained them yardage wise, which is a small miracle, but they had some big returns on special teams that were kind of the difference in the game. Go ahead, Coach.
Coach, do you guys use these screens to replace the majority of your quick game, or do you have a quick game package as well?
Yeah, good question. I don't call a ton of quick game anymore. I probably need to call a little bit more. The kid that started for us, he was a junior this year. I've had probably like 4 or 5 dual threat kids in a row, and he was more of a pocket guy. I probably should have built a little bit more quick game in for him because he was comfortable with that stuff. But really, most of our quick game comes from our RPO and then our package screen quick stuff. I like to have options. I don't really like to come out with quick game called and just be dead to rights and not have a whole lot of options other than checking somebody vertical. So good question. I don't think you need to have an extensive quick game menu, but we run stick, we run 3-man snag, we run out, and then we'll tag some all hitches. But most of the other stuff is stuff that we tag into our run game. So here you can see this again. We should throw the stick. We end up throwing the tunnel, and we don't get anything out of it. And the stick would have been a nice little chunk on 1st and 43, which is, if anybody that's listening has a good call for 1st and 43, let me know. I couldn't figure it out this year. Okay, last one I'm going to show you, and you can really get creative. All we did here is we're going to run our jail to our number 2 to the field, and we're going to run out concept away. So we're going to go mandatory outside release. We're going to run our out. And all we're going to try to do is get them to push to the out so we can come back and throw our tunnel. Now, this kid right here was our stud outside linebacker. We were trying to get him some reps at Y, so he blows this right here because when his man blitzes, like, we should be happy about that. We should be good. He should be going and kicking the apex defender, and our tackle should end up, all right, on the alley player who's at safety. But he chases the blitzer in, and so this kind of gets a little bit cloudy. But you can see, watch the Y, and we start on the quick game concept. So we can throw the out, we'll throw it. But we get them to push hard to the quick game concept. So they're all pushing out. So our quarterback comes off it, comes back, and throws tunnel. And we didn't block the tunnel very well. But again, you find those little jitterbugs, and you get the ball in their hand, and usually good things happen. Okay, so you can see we're going to one step. We should start one step, quick game, out concept. Pre-snap, he's saying, hey, I might throw this. But then these guys bail. These guys try to drive to it. So at that point, we're coming off and throwing the tunnel. All right, Coach, that's what I got.
No, awesome, Coach. Yeah, if any coaches have any questions, just drop it in that chat. Obviously, there's Coach's contact information right there. Ton of really great stuff. Definitely, I'm sitting here writing stuff down, definitely making me reevaluate some stuff that we're gonna do. And fortunately, in this case, since we haven't played yet, I can kind of tweak some things and still have some time to do it. So I was actually messaging my offensive staff, letting them know once I put this on the drive that they need to watch this by the end of the week and just, offer up some feedback. But it's definitely something that we're going to look to do more this year for sure. So this was a great clinic talk, I know, for me specifically. Here's a question for you. Is this is a little different from the run game, tunnel screens on your coach tube?
Yeah, so the one that's on my coach tube is we call them our run action screens. So, the jailbreak screen, that's off of pass game, right? So if you're throwing quick game, you're throwing the ball vertically and they're really getting upfield, they're rushing, they're trying to get after your quarterback, that's when we want to throw the jailbreak stuff. If you're having success running, for us, we run it off of outside zone. We're a big outside zone team, and we're a big power team. So if we're having success running the ball and now we start getting, really fast flow linebackers that are trying to defend the run game, we have a really good package of what we call run action screens, which are throwing these tunnel screens, but we're doing it off of a run action instead of showing a pass set. And so again, if you're sitting here listening to this, and you're like, oh man, this stuff's really good. I definitely encourage you to check out the run action stuff because it's been our best stuff for a long time. So, I've been a firm believer in screen game, but I think you got to have more than one way to do it, more than one way to set it up. So we like to set it up off our pass game. We like to set it up off our run game and really see what the defense is doing. If they're dropping and playing a bunch of guys in grass and they're not really rushing the passer, then you probably want to do it off your run game a little bit more. If they're pinning their ears back and trying to come after you in the pass game, then you can set them up and throw some of these jailbreaks and hit explosive plays.
Absolutely. Here's another question, Coach. If you get a man press look across the board, is there a check to change the play? Or you just roll with it?
Let's roll, baby. We got to be physical, and you got to work on your guys. You got to work on your guys to be able to get off press to create some separation. Get in the corner's chest and get a little bit of a push off. You got to try to create a little bit of separation. So no, we don't have a built-in check to it, but I will tell you, if you start getting guys that really start triggering that, then what we'll do is what we call a lock. And so we'll lock it. So it's a play action. We'll show tunnel, and the guy that's the push kick guy, he'll go show push kick, show his hands, and then go vertical. And so you start getting guys that start getting real horny to try to jump that screen, then you can bust them on that. And so that's usually our answer. We try to call that, and they're up in our grill and they're running alleys and they're triggering fast. Then we'll lock them and we'll hit some big explosive plays over there. And that usually you usually do that 1 or 2 times, and that'll back them off. They'll be a little bit more patient to try to drive that stuff.
Coach, in the practice, how often are you working your screen period, and for how long?
So built into our practice schedule, we have a 10-minute screen period every day. And we build it around kind of like our install for the day. So I'm a little bit different than some guys, where some guys like every day is a different situational deal. I kind of build my script where Mondays are inside zone days. And then the pass schemes that we install along with our inside zone, like 4 verticals and things like that. Tuesday for us that's a gap day. And so then we build in whatever our screen concept is that's married with that day. So on zone days, we'll run our key screens, which is like our wide receiver fast screens, and we'll run our solid screens, which is our run action screen off of outside zone. And then on Tuesdays, which is our gap days, then we run our run action screen off of power, and we run like our jailbreak stuff. And so that's kind of how we do that. But we do 10 minutes a day. When we work our key screens, it's just quarterbacks, running backs, and receivers. When we work our jailbreak and our run action screens, then we do team screen, and we get everybody together for 10 minutes, and we do it every single day for 10 minutes.
That's awesome. Coaches, anybody else have any questions before we wrap this one up? Obviously, Coach shared a ton of great information, some really good film, and then some coaching points to go along with it. And then once again, just to reiterate what he was saying before, and you see the information on there, if you do want to watch more of this stuff, or especially the run action screens, definitely check out his Coach Tube. Clearly, right, Coach comes in and does a tremendous job presenting. So the channel is more of the same. So I mean, definitely jump on that so you can check it out. If you have any questions in regards to it or whatever, there's his Twitter up there. I'm sure you could reach out and he'll get back to you. So obviously a great resource for football guys like myself, right? We haven't played yet. Definitely, worth it to talk to him and fine tune some stuff. Other dudes that are still on their off season mode, this is a great time as well. So either way, utilize when the coaches, share their contact information. And then when they also offer up, certain resources like Coach Tube, absolutely worth taking advantage of it. Good luck. Yeah, no, I'm definitely praying as well, Coach. So if nobody has any questions, we'll wrap this one up. Just want to thank you, Coach Mohns, once again for jumping on. Another thing, right, if you haven't seen his first talk on here, definitely go back and check it out. Talk about some wide zone. And once again did a tremendous job, but always a pleasure to get him on. Obviously dude knows football, man, so absolutely a great guy to connect with. And once again, feel free to check out his stuff and ask him any questions you got, man. So Coach, I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, Coach, thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it. You've done an awesome job. You've become an awesome resource for coaches around the country, and thank you for everything you do. And for everybody that tuned in, man, thanks for checking it out. Follow me on Twitter. I communicate with guys all the time, and I like talking ball. And so if there's anything I can do to help you, let me know. If there's anything that you got that can help me, man, send it my way. I'm always trying to learn too. So hope you guys all have a great day. Enjoy some time with your family today, and remember why we had the day off too. I think that's
100%. That's real. That's definitely real.